Hi, and welcome to the Harbor Stitcher, my little corner of the internet all about my cross stitching and sometimes about my life and work. I'm so glad that you're here. My name's Jen, and if this is your first time joining, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. It's fun just to see the little comments that come in and the relationships that are starting to form with some folks on Instagram DMs and just in conversations. I want to start out by thanking everybody. Today is Sunday, November 5th. It's been about a month since I was here last, and in my last video, I shared some of my concerns about Flosstube. Was I going to keep doing it? What was the frequency going to be? Was it going to ruin my stitching? And the encouragement that I got from all of you in the comments that it was okay to have longer stretches in between, to do a monthly update, which is what this is, to not have as much haul, and to not let it ruin my stitching. It really meant a lot. I think the best piece of advice I got was from I'm a Stitch Nerd. Please go check out her channel. She said to remember, we're all just wanting to sit around as a group of friends and stitch together. And from now on, that's the way that I'm just gonna approach this channel, is like we're just sitting across the table from each other and chatting. And to me, that will make it a lot easier to have these conversations and not worry so much about what I have to show. It's just fun to share it with you in general. So I'm excited to jump in for this monthly update. I will say I did have to travel again this month for work, and when I travel for work, I always take a project with me. I have the best of intentions that I'm gonna sit in my hotel room at night and I'm gonna stitch, or I'm gonna stitch on the plane. What inevitably happens is I get on the plane, I settle in, and I'm either on a late night flight or I'm on an early morning flight, and so I want a nap. And then when I'm in town, down in LA or wherever I might be for work, I spend all day at the office. Then I usually go out to dinner with a coworker or a few. And then by the time I get back to the hotel room, it's have a quick call with my husband, catch up on the day, and I want to crash. And then I wake up and repeat that the next day. All my best laid plans of stitching usually go out the window. But I usually take 2 or 3 projects because every time I think something's going to be different. I can tell you I put 1 strand of floss into the project that I took, and that was on the plane after the movie I was watching ended. So not even going to show that today because it's not worth it. But yeah, so that's been this month. It was also Halloween. I hope you all had a wonderful and fun Halloween. Ours was good. I mean, we sat outside, prepared for all the trick-or-treaters that we get every year, and it was definitely a lighter year this year. I think I've heard some other people talking about that as well. So I don't know if it's all like the trunk or treats, and in our town we had both an uptown and a downtown areas where kids could go trick-or-treating between the shops, and maybe more people are just doing that with their kids instead of neighborhoods anymore. So it was a little bit smaller of a Halloween this year, but that's okay. Came inside and ended up just watching a movie with my husband, which was nice after all the trick-or-treaters were completed. The only other thing that's really gone on this month was a great visit from some of our good friends. They, about a year ago, moved away, and every so often they make it back for a nice visit, and we got to hang out, and she is one of my stitchy friends. She's getting back into it, and let me tell you, we've got her going down the rabbit hole. So super excited to see her stash continue to grow, her projects complete, and hopefully one of these future episodes, when she's in town, or maybe we'll do it via Zoom, I will be able to get her on here. I also have a wonderful girlfriend named Susan who does the most amazing stitching. It is so beautiful. She does Glendon Place, Mirabilias, gorgeous fancy ladies of other types. She's done the Autumn Lane Queens, both of the ones that are out so far, and I have talked her into coming on. So hopefully in December she will be a guest and come show all of her beautiful stitching. that is kind of what life's been lately. Otherwise, it's just been all the normal work and family, and grandbaby had his first Halloween. He was an adorable little pumpkin. I probably won't insert photos just because I haven't asked my son and daughter-in-law if I can, but he was absolutely precious, as always, at 7.5 months old for his first Halloween, so that's very fun, and we are looking so forward to his first Christmas and Thanksgiving. But let's jump into everything about cross stitch. I wanted to share, first of all, a couple of the Flosstubers I've been watching this week, or it has primarily been this week. I have to say, the first couple weeks of the month, I was watching all my regulars, Pam and Steph, and the folks that I just don't miss every time they put out a video. But this last week and a half, I started exploring a couple of new ones that I've really been enjoying and I want to share with you. One is definitely not new. I think you all probably watch him and I'm just late to the party. I know my mom absolutely adores him and that's how I got turned on to it, and that is Chris Cross Stitch. Chris, I'm so glad that you, after your move, because I have gone back and watched, after your move, have jumped back in and are on a new chapter, new season of Flosstube. So I'm really enjoying your videos and your story time. Thank you so much. The neighborhood that you are building around cross stitch is wonderful, and I'm glad to be a part of it and one of your neighbors. The next is the Sassy Southern Stitchers. Love you ladies. And I laughed so hard at a new baseball term that she taught me on Instagram, and when I told my husband, he almost spit his coffee out laughing too. We're Angels fans, they're Rangers fans. Hearing the term the Trout Pout, and if you know, you know on that one, because Mike Trout is an Angel who's really, really good, and he does make a lot of people do the Trout Pout. So I have now adopted that term. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. But please go check out their channel. They have a few videos out, and that's the Sassy Southern Stitchers. And then last but not least, I came across the Northwood Stitcher. And while I haven't watched many of her videos yet, the one that I watched, she had found a child's plastic dollhouse. I think at the dump, or maybe when she was out, at a picker place. She turned it into the most fabulous Halloween dollhouse for display, and now I'm on a mission at the Goodwill to attempt to do something very similar to what she did. I just found it fascinating and I really want to try that. So that is the Northwood Stitcher. Please go check out her channel as well. Otherwise, for what I've been watching, I just want to share two quick things. These are not cross-stitch related, but I want to share them because I think they've been really, really enjoyable to watch. One is a YouTube channel. His name is Peter Santinello, and he does a lot of YouTubes where he goes into regions of our country or regions of the world and just explores deeper into them, gets into the communities, learns about them. He's done Kentucky, Alaska. He did really fascinating ones about the Navajo Nation, and my husband actually grew up in the Four Corners area of New Mexico and right around the Navajo Nation, and had told me a lot of stories about growing up around that and going to school in that area. My sister lives in Snowflake, Arizona, which is on the Arizona side of the Navajo Nation and is around it. And so it was really interesting to watch these videos of Peter being in there in the community and shining a light on what they're doing. And there's now a new HBO special called Navajo Police Class 57 that we just started watching, and it's a 3-part docuseries, and that is a wonderful show as well. We finished episode 1. We're going to watch episode 2 tonight, but if you're interested in learning any more about some of that, I would encourage you to watch both of those things as well. So again, completely uncross-stitch related, but fascinating, educational, and informative stuff that we've been watching lately. All right, on to the stitching. I'm going to start with an FFO. This is a piece that I actually completed in August, and I think I showed it in one of my very first videos of having finished it, and it's called Bushel and a Peck by La-Di Da. But I took advantage of a sale. Michael's was having 50% off any regular priced item. I thought this would probably fit in a standard 8x10, so I went and found a frame last weekend and got, ooh, let's see if I can get no glare on it. Got the piece framed, and again, because it's a standard frame, it's not museum quality glass. It does have the glare. There you can see. This one was stitched on 32 count Legacy Lugana by Picture This Plus, and it's with my own color conversion of fancy flosses that I had in my stash. So happy to share that if anybody's interested, but it will be joining the wall right back here, and excited to get that one out of the box and hung up. So very, very happy with that. Next up, I did have a start. I jumped into I already have some fall stitching, but this one has just been in my stash. I have been itching to do it, and so I started playing with Jacks by the Cricut Collection. Kind of funny that I'm talking about the Navajo stuff and all the Southwest, and this was the fall stitch. It must be something I've just been in a mood for lately, but I did start this one, and I'm not sure how well, I guess it shows up. It's washing out quite a bit on here. I was worried about that. In person, this is not so ghosty. But I am stitching this one on this beautiful this beautiful piece of beach sand, 36 count beach sand linen from To Die For Fabrics. I think this fabric is absolutely gorgeous. I wish you could see some of that stitching a little bit better. It is washing out, but in person, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I might continue to work on that a little bit through November, since it is just more fall versus Halloween, but it also might go away until next year. We'll just see where the month takes me. That was my only start since my last video. I'm really trying to be good about starts because of some things I'll talk to you about when we get towards the end and we get into plans. So now I will jump into whips. I do have a number of whips. It's been a month, so there's going to be a number of them. Let me grab the pile over here. These are not in any particular order. They're just kind of how I grabbed them out and looked through my calendar and saw, what are all the projects I've worked on. First up is one that I've been showing you and have told you it's going to come out every single month. It's Halloween Hamlet. I love this piece. There is a stitch along going for it that's hashtag Halloween Hamlet 2023 with cat stitch. I have broken this up into sections, assigned a section for every month so that I can have it completed by the end of September or October 1st of next year and be able to display it for Halloween. So since today is November 5th, I have already completed the November section, which, let me grab a board here. I have completed the November, oopsies, well that didn't work. The November section, which was this inner part here. I have not done, just to note, I've not done any of the back stitching on either of the sections that have been completed yet. I'm gonna save that till the end. Just, first of all, I'm not great at I love back stitching, but it doesn't always look beautiful, so I would rather save it to the end and know that I can just focus on that for a week or so. This fabric is really washing out. I'm so sorry. It is such a beautiful, bright purple. This is 16 count Heather fabric, and that is by, where's my card? I don't want to say it wrong. Fiber on a Whim. So, and I am doing it with all of the called for DMCs and just working along through that. I love chunking this out. There may be more projects in my future where I just assign a section each month, because it's like checking something off your to-do list, knowing that you got that section for the month done. There's something so satisfying about it. And it's like the first thing I do. It turns the first of the month, grab it out and do it. So I might need to do more of that planning. Next up is a piece you all know and love. Everybody has stitched this. Everyone has done their versions of it, which all turn out absolutely gorgeous. It is Winter Rose Manor. I haven't worked on it in a bit because we lost my father-in-law last year to COVID. And when I asked my husband, I put out a bunch of pieces and said I wanted to stitch something in his honor. This was the piece that he picked because of the Cardinals. Let me pull it out of this. The Cardinals meant a lot to him and his dad. We saw Cardinals while we were down staying and taking care of things at the house. So he picked this. I started it on my father-in-law's birthday last year. I haven't worked on it much, but I picked it up again this month because his birthday is on October 30th. And so I did pick it up and do a little bit more work on it. And here's where I'm at so far. What I worked on this time around is I got these trees in, these snowflakes and this berries, and this flower, because I had some floss left from this, so I came down to where a flower was that could give me a marker that I could start the snow, because there is so much snow that I want to kind of get it outlined and know that if there's ever a day where I just need to do some fill-in, I have it ready to go. So did a little bit more work. This was just the evening of his birthday. Did this work, and I am stitching this one on a 32 count stone Lugana, and I believe it's just a Zweigart. Yep, 32 count stone gray Lugana. It's not a hand dyed. It's here with the called for, except my white, you will notice, is quite a bit brighter. I changed out the roasted marshmallow for 12 grain, just so that it was a little bit whiter and looked a little bit more like snow. Next up is Old Faithful. I tell you, when this stitch is done, I will probably be I know I'll be very sad, because this piece has become comfort stitching to me. If it's a long day, things are crazy, I pull this out and it's just a good, easy, fun stitch. And that is 5 o'clock by Ink Circles. You've seen this one growing each month. It has grown a bit more this month. So last month, I'll just pop it against my face here to hold it. Last month we had the margarita. So this month I have filled in these. As I said, it's kind of comfort stitching. So getting these outlines, getting the clock part, there's not a lot of color change. I can get it done, but then it's fun to go back and fill in like this flower. And now I'll be able to fill in the drinks with some bright colors. So loving this one. Probably another month or two, just based on how I work on projects, to finish this up. But super fun, relaxing and enjoyable stitch. So 5 o'clock by Ink Circles. And this is stitched on an 18 count jade by Picture This Plus with all of the called for DMC. And, oops, got kind of a mess going over here. Next up is Acorns by the Blue Flower. This is one that is a beautiful fall piece, but it is probably It is probably going to go away until sometime next summer or fall, or when I want to pull it out and try to work close to a finish. It's just so beautiful. Such a beautiful piece. Let me show it up close here a little more. I am stitching this one on a piece, I know it is a Lugana, 32 count limestone Lugana with all of the called for, both Fancy Floss and their DMC alternatives. So I was choosing where to do the Fancy Floss. So this, obviously I wanted that variegation in the word acorns. So what I got done is I've outlined this leaf, got this little squirrel, all of this basically in the O, the C, and then started to bring this border all the way down and around. So got some good progress on, I do tend to do a 3-day rotation. Anything more than that, I've tried the 5-day, I really have. It made so much sense in the math in my brain and the way I love numbers. But by day 4, I was really struggling to keep working on the same project. So I tend to do a 3-day rotation, and I feel like I got some good progress in these 3 days. Love this one. Janine is a wizard. Janine with the blue flower is a wizard in what she does with colors and all of her choices. Next up, I will have to turn, one sec, I didn't bring it over. Next up, I did do a little bit more work on my one and only Mirabilia, and that is Golden Girl Apples. I love this piece. This is the one that I did restart and showed in the last video because I had not liked the fabric I originally had chosen. I now love the fabric I have, which is a 32 count gingerbread Lugana. Those colors just, pop on there. They're so beautiful. And that's more true to color right there. I think otherwise when I got close there, it washed it out. I had this part of her bodice, of her dress in before. I have filled out some more here. These are the little apples that are on the trees to the side there. And I filled in and started on some trees, some blue mountains that are in the background, and one of the sunshine rays, because I figure there is so much yellow and different rays of sun on this. I better work on one each time I work on something else. Otherwise, I'm going to get to the end, and all I'm going to have left is yellow sun rays. Forgive the dangling thread there, but she is coming along. She's beautiful. Those colors are just a joy to work with. Now that I like my fabric, we'll set that over there. All right, only 2 more to go. The next one is my full coverage. So I am working on fishing boats. I've told you the story of how this does remind me of why, I am the harbor stitcher. This looks like the harbor. Fishing boats. I am doing this 1/1 full cross on 25 count Lugana. I think I'm definitely going to have to put a board behind this because otherwise you can see through it. Got some more of the corner. I'm still working on page 1 here, but hey, this is my first real full coverage that I'm sticking with, and I love it. You can see quite a bit of confetti. There's a lot of different colors of blues and greens in there, but it's a pretty repetitive pattern. When you realize there's all the different colors, it still repeats pretty well, which makes it not as difficult to stitch. This month, I believe I got, let's look at the numbers here, This month I stitched 811 stitches, and that got me to, oops, let's go back here. I am at 2.2% complete on it. This is the only pattern that I have in Markup RXP, so I am able to track how far and what I've done on the full coverage. But I'm actually enjoying Markup RXP. I just haven't found an easy way when you have a regular PDF pattern that maybe isn't made for the program, or when I want to scan or take a picture of one of my paper patterns and put it in. I haven't found that that works well in the software. So for that, I use Goodreader and then just mark them off. But honestly, I don't know what I would do for some of my patterns without being able to use my iPad and my pen for marking things off. Best gift my husband ever got me. He listened when I said I wanted it for cross stitch, and that's what he got me last year for Christmas, was a new, bigger iPad and the pen. It's fantastic. And my very last piece that I worked on, I'm going to be honest, I set out for this one to be a strand a day this month. I was really going to try and do that. Thought that'll get me some beautiful progress. I'll feel good about it. I think I did 4 days in the whole month. What I've learned about myself is that I love to see the progress, but my brain can't wrap around working on 2 different projects in a day. So after work, I sit down. It's my meditative moments to stitch. It's that little bit of quiet time that I have, and I just want to pick up one project and work on it. To think about, pick this one up, do a strand, then put it away and get the next one out. Just realized that doesn't work for me. So if you have found that it works for you, can you share with me in the comments how you get your brain to project switch? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a one-a-day girl, but the project that I attempted it with is I've got a picture of it here to share. It is Long Dog Samplers, A Happy Ever After. Love this piece. I can't wait till I have it done and hanging on our wall downstairs in the living room, because it's turning out stunning. I am doing this on an 18 count. I don't want to tell you incorrectly. I know it's an XJU. Shaker Khaki, 18 count, and I'm using a Silks for You, beautiful, beautiful variegated silk. It's PR 181 that came in the hank, and I cut it into the lengths that I like. And for the body of this project, I am not worrying about color placement. Let's talk about that for a minute here. So in here, I just grab a strand and pick and go. You will see the colors variegate all over. Now for the border, that one I was very specific. When I ended a piece of the floss with the light gray, I started the next one with the light so that it kept. So I chose which end of the strand to start and finish with based on keeping the pattern going around the border. Stand back and see if I can get the whole thing. I absolutely love this, and you can see the fabric is beautiful. XJU fabric is gorgeous. That Silks for You is a dream to stitch with. And this is 1/1 on the 18 count with the silk. So this is why I need your help on how do you make yourself do a strand a day, because I would love to see this come to life, continuing to do a strand a day and just getting more and more done. I know that if I just put it into my rotation, try to do 3 days, maybe every month, every couple months, this is never going to get done. But this is so beautiful that I want it done. So help a girl out. Give me some tips. I would appreciate anything that you've got to help me keep going on a strand a day as a focus piece. But that is all of my stitching for the month. Seems like a lot, but it wasn't a lot of progress on everything. It was just my normal 3-day rotation, or like for Winter Rose Manor, it was just 1 day because it was a day of celebration for something. So that is all my stitching. I would love to share with you now. I know I mentioned in the last video and even leading up to this that I probably won't always have a lot of haul. And I don't, again, but I have ordered a couple pieces of fabric, and I'm not going to show the ones that have come in yet today. I'm waiting on 2 more to come in. And the reason that I've ordered those is my plans. So I guess I'll skip haul for a moment and talk about why I'm not showing haul and what the plans will be. A lot of people talk about their plans for 2024. I think Pam's doing a 24 new starts in 24. I know Kia B and many others do a 12 by 12, where they do 12 new starts on New Year's Eve, so 1 an hour. Last year that sounded intriguing to me, but I know myself. I know our New Year's Eve plans. I know that an hour isn't enough time for me to feel like I can really start a project. So I did 12 days of Christmas last year, and I started 1 new project every day for the 12 days of Christmas. That worked out really well, and I've enjoyed having those projects to work on throughout the year. So I am going to do that again this year, and I've been kitting up. I've chosen my 12. I've been getting them kitted up. I was trying to do it all from stash as much as I could, but a couple of them I did need fabric for. I just didn't have the right fabric. So once that comes in, I am planning to do kind of a Flosstube extra, and I will walk through the 12 projects that I have planned for 12 days of Christmas, show them to you, and that's when you'll see that haul and fabric. So the only haul that I'm going to show today is tied to this full coverage. Now, this full coverage is going to be one of my 12 days of Christmas. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I am kitting up Happy Hour by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Larry Grossman. This one takes a lot of colors, and so it is 89 colors, but some of them need 3 skeins, some need 5 skeins. I saw last week that Michael's was having a sale, like I mentioned, on the frame. It was 50% off one regular price item and 30% off your entire order, and you could stack them together. Decided to take advantage of that, and I went and got, I'll just hold it this way, went and got the DMC for this project. I also got the last few DMC colors I needed, and I now have an entire set of DMC. So I'm so excited to have a complete set and this kitted up. So that was my main stitchy haul outside of a few pieces of fabric coming, and well, with 2 of the pieces of fabric that have already arrived. I have had this chart sitting in my wish list for so long that I just said, toss it in. Fabric's coming, let's toss it in. And it is Singing in the Rain by Madame Chantilly. I'm sorry, but a chicken with rain boots and an umbrella, it doesn't get any cuter. I have to stitch this spring. It had to come home with me. Funny thing is, I had this in my favorites on Etsy, my wish list on 123, and bookmarked. So clearly this has been a favorite and something that I've wanted. I'm so happy to have it now and be able to, it's not going to be one of my 12 by 12, but it will probably be a spring start. The one other item that came in is, if you watch Bridge in the Museum Stitcher, she talks a lot about Adam Hart cross stitch flush drops, And she recently did a video on how she stores her DMC stash and showed their floss bobbins. I think that's what they were called. And she bobbinates and uses those. I knew I wouldn't do that, and one of these days I will show you how I store all my DMC. I do not bobbinate, but I knew I wouldn't do that, but I was trying to figure out what I want to do with all of that. I could make paper, which I use for most of my kits, just paper floss drops that I punch out and use. In my other full coverage, you may have seen, I use the cards that you can get on Amazon. Not cards, they're plastic. They hold, I think, 24 colors on each. What I'm finding working on fishing boats is sometimes that's hard. Like if you pull off some color and you want to put it back, you might not remember because it's just one of many on a card and you need to kind of match it up and figure out what you're working with. So I decided, since Bridget talks about it so much, let's see what they're all about. I ordered a bag of these Adam Heart Cross Stitch thread chips, the frosted acrylic ones. This bag will kit up. There's 100. That full coverage has 89 colors. So this bag will kit up the entire project. And here's what they look like. Actually, it's upside down. So you've got where you can put it on a ring, where you can put your floss. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. And then where you've got a little slot here for your extras. Flosstube knows is real. I'm excited to give these a try. So far, I just pulled out one color to see what it would be like on here. And they come with these little white stickers in there that you can write the number on, the floss number. You can also write on them with Sharpie. I write on my plastic ones from my plastic cards from Amazon. I write on them with Sharpie and then just some alcohol rubs that right off when you want to reuse it. They say you can do the same with these, but I thought, the stickers are in there. Let's just use them. So I'm going to kit up this project this way, this full coverage, and see which way I prefer. But so far, I really like how these load and the idea of having this little slot here for the extra floss when you've got some leftovers. So thank you, Bridget. You may have just created a new addiction for me. If I like these, I may just start doing this instead of the paper ones, but we will see. Again, that's Adam Heart Cross Stitch. You can go right on their website and order. They have heart-shaped, V-shaped, regular bobbins. They have them in fun colors based off seasonal. I decided to keep these since this is a non-seasonal full coverage that's going to take me years to complete. Decided to keep them just the frosted, but go check them out. Let's all see how we feel about those and show some love to a small business out there. All right, I have one other thing I've ordered that is not here. This was a complete spur of the moment, and let me just say, for someone who says they don't have much haul, this feels like a lot in a month. Between the pattern, the floss, a couple pieces of fabric, feels like a lot. But yesterday, I happened to see that Forbidden Fiber Co. is going to have a new stitch along in 2024 that is a Gilmore Girls sayings and quotes sal. I've never stitched a Forbidden Fiber Co. pattern. I have also never stitched with any of their floss. So I was talking to my husband about it, and he goes, just order it. And I was like, I don't know. I did it. I went on last night. I ordered the entire kit. So it is, let me see if I can pull it up here. It's the Gilmoreisms. Gilmoreisms Sal. I ordered it in 36 count linen. You can pick your fabric count. I don't know what color it's going to be, but it's going to come with the fabric, 15 skeins of the floss needed for the cell, and then the weekly pattern update. It'll come out every Monday starting in January. So super excited about that. It'll join my other Black Needle Society Gilmore Girls project, and maybe eventually I'll have an entire Gilmore Girls wall. Who knows? It's something that every year I rewatch the entire show throughout the holidays. So that's what I binge kind of for the month of December and into January, and just keep going as I rewatch Gilmore Girls start to finish. So it'll be fun to have something to also work on while doing that. I almost forgot. Tiny Modernist came out, her email, very dangerous to be. It's wonderful to be on designers' email newsletters, but it's also dangerous. And she released her new Christmas time. Well, my two girlfriends that I mentioned earlier, my best stitchy friends, Carrie and Susan, we've all decided, we all loved it. We all bought the PDF and are now kitting it up. So we're going to start that together on December 1st. So that'll be a fun new sale. If we end up coming up with a hashtag, neither of them are big at sharing their stitching on Instagram yet. I'm going to get them there because their stitching's beautiful. But if we come up with a hashtag, then I will definitely share it. So would love to have anybody who wants to join in with us on that one. Which leads me to my plans. I don't know what projects of all my current projects I will be working on over the next month. I haven't thought about that yet, but I do know that I have that one plus 4 other Christmas starts, that including an ornament for my grandson, because I'm going to start doing an ornament a year for him. So technically 5 Christmas starts that I'm going to start one every Sunday this month. So today, when I get done, I'm going to go start his ornament. Should only take a couple of days would be my guess. And then next Sunday, I'll start another one. So I will be happy to show you those before we close out. And those will be my plans for the next month or so and through to the holidays. But the 4 Christmas chart, or 5, one I just showed you is going to be the cell. For his Christmas ornament, I am doing this pattern I got, let's not do that. I got off Etsy from Nikki Pattern. I'm going to be doing that little reindeer. So adorable. So I'm going to be starting that one today, and I'm going to stitch him on with these. It's all the called for DMC. It's just 4 colors. And then this cute gray and white checked, or gray and white petty point. It's a 32 count Lugana. Then the next one that I have kitted, I'm so excited. It's really hard not to start this one this weekend, but I've had this kit. Oh, I just love it. Modern Folk Embroidery, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Is that not just the most gorgeous pattern? Oh, love it so much. And I am going to be stitching it on 32 count opal Lugana. Doesn't have a color name. This was, I hope you can see the sparkle. This was from a Friday Night Fight, Be Stitch Me Friday Night Fight Night, probably about 9 months ago. Look at the sparkle, and I am going to be stitching it in Buckeye Scarlet. Tell me that is not just going to be the most beautiful thing. This one's going to be a hard one to put down once I start it. I want that one up in my house and completed. the, oops, I skipped one somewhere. Oh, there it is. The next one I'll be starting, I showed this in my kit parade, but just a refresher is I will be starting Autumn Lane Stitchery. They had these 4 ornaments that all came out separately, and I saw this picture online of someone who had done all 4 in a row and made them into a pillow. So I am doing that and basically copying exactly down to the Snow on Aqua fabric. So I'll be starting that one. Super cute. Love Autumn Lane. My friend Carrie the other day, no, might have been Susan, one of them texted and said Autumn Lane should just take all my money. And I agree with her. They probably could take all my money. And the final Christmas start I'll have this year in a bag made by me with a cute little zipper pull made by my mom. This is Shannon Christine design, Looks Like Christmas. I just think that's so sweet and very classic Christmas. I'll be stitching that one with all the DMC, the called for DMCs on this piece of 28 count tea-dyed Irish linen from Michaels. I think this is a DMC. It is. So I will make that one. Now I can officially say that's it. Those are my plans. That's everything. Feels like a lot. It looks like a hurricane came through here, but excited to shift gears and jump into Christmas stitching and all of this fun new projects. I don't know. There's something about the changing of the seasons that means the wanting to start all the new things for the season. I also don't have a lot of Christmas stitches, which is pretty crazy. So I actually don't think I have any whips that are Christmas right now. So it'll be fun to get these going and get some things into the rotation and maybe a couple of them finished in time for the holidays. So that's it. And I will just say I'm looking forward to seeing what you all are starting for the holidays. I hope that everybody is going to have a wonderful, if you're in the US, Thanksgiving, because it will not be until after that when I come back to do my next video. I have decided to keep going, but to stay with this monthly schedule and recording. It'll be probably the first Sunday of every month, so it'll wrap up the entire month and then start the new month, and I'll be back. But yeah, I guess there's nothing else to say right now except that until next time, I'm Jen, the Harbor Stitcher, and I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful month. Get a lot of great stitchy time in, and remember again, as I've said before, let's all be kind because we need a lot more of that in the world right now. Thanks a lot for coming by, and please leave me a comment below just to say hi if you are here. I really appreciate it. And if any of you are going to be at the Jingle Ball, I really hope to see you there in some of the stitchy rooms because I do have my ticket and we'll be there again this year. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.